Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Crispy Compact Communiqué, the shortened version of the Crispy Noodle podcast that we are putting on in spite of the whole coronavirus and all the hoopla happening in 2020. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Rich Liebig.
I'm Michael Costanzo.
And if you're watching the video podcast, you notice that we have a special guest to join us because this is the episode before the 4th of July. Folks, it's Mike's dad, Frank Costanzo. Yes! I love the fact we got him to be on the Crispy Compact Communiqué. How you doing, Frank?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here. And it's tradition. So
yes,
it's good.
Right. It's
exactly. I told Mike, we had to figure this out. We had to figure out some way that we could still get in contact with you for the podcast episode before the 4th of July. It's tradition. It's a must. We have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that we were able to hook this up for you. The reason why, for those that are new to the podcast, we have a sound clip of Frank doing a ridiculous demand before the 4th of July, where he demands that there needs to be American hamburgers and hot dogs on the 4th of July. No Italian sausages, no Mike sausages. Sorry, Mike, you're not getting Italian sausages. It's American. We have to celebrate America on the 4th of July. Frank, I assume that is still the rules for this weekend?
Well, I'll tell you what, a funny story. We were in the Acme, and tomorrow night we're going to watch what's the name?
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yes. There you go.
But we're all going to do social distancing. You know, it's all going to be cool like that. But we're going to make pizzas, right? And so we were in the Acme, and I was looking at the pepperoni for the pizza, and it was like $5 for a little bag of pepperoni. And so I said to my wife, we've got our own sausage. We'll just put our own sausage on the pizza there, and it'll cost us nothing. So I have to say, yay to sausage. Because it's cheaper than $5.99.
Breaking with tradition.
Well, when it works, it works.
When it works, it works. There you go. That's true.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, geez. Yeah. I don't know. I think you're breaking the hearts of our diehard fans that have been through the start. There's supposed to be no sausages on 4th of July.
It was not 4th of July. It's only the 3rd of July.
There you go. Right. So, you know what? It's 2020. Everything has been thrown out of whack.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's coronavirus days.
Yeah. Speaking of the coronavirus, I noticed since we've been in this new state of alternate universes, you are growing a awesome beard right now.
Well, I was working from home, and I said, I don't have to shave today. And so I let one day go. I let 2 days go, and it kind of got easy and comfortable. I said, I don't have to shave every day. Like, I shave once a week, just under here, and then my wife trims it up and she gives me a haircut. And so it worked really well. And people said it looked good. So I kept it.
I'm telling you, the beard suits you. I like it on you.
It's working.
Are you going to keep it post coronavirus, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh!
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe I want to shave it off, but I don't know. My wife likes it. People say it's good, so I'll keep it.
Do what the wife wants. That's always a good rule of thumb. If she likes it, you leave it on there.
Keep the wife happy.
True that.
Yeah. So another bit that we like to do while we have you on for this tradition is you're a big gardener. How's the garden doing this year? We like to get the garden update.
Garden is doing good. I didn't get the variety of tomato plant that I wanted because when I went there, they were all sold out. I was looking for celebrity, and they didn't have them at the garden center. So I got something else. It's working okay, but the lower leaves are kind of dropping off. And I went
Not
back to the
good.
garden center, and he said, "Oh, they're supposed to do that." So we'll see.
Okay.
Tomatoes are on the plant. They're green, so I assume they're going to get red, and then we'll eat them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds like a simple plan to me.
Yeah.
So is there any other things that you're going to try and do for this weekend? I know with everything going on with the coronavirus, everything is kind of limited. You can't really go out to a restaurant, or you can't really go down the shore.
We're going over Aunt Mary Ann's, and because she has a bigger place, and we can do social distancing there.
All right, so this is Mike's Aunt Marianne.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody
Not
listening is like, what are you guys talking about? Yeah.
Well, they'll probably figure it out. But anyway, we're going to go up there, and we bought the food, and it's going to be a good time. I have hot dogs and hamburgers.
There you go. Hot, fresh, right off the grill, right?
Yeah.
So how are you planning to instill that rule? Everything needs to be hot right off the grill. Are you still going to be the first person there?
Yeah. Since this became a popular item on the podcast, I now have claims to the first hamburger on the grill. So hopefully they'll do that, unless they get ornery and get mad at me for something. Then they won't do it. But
Which is always a distinct possibility.
yeah, maybe if they watch this podcast, they'll take pity on me and give me my hamburger hot off the grill. Otherwise, it would make me a liar, right? That can't be.
That's right. That can't be. It's true though. Ever since he's been doing this podcast, people at our barbecue functions always make a point, be like, "Oh, you gotta get Uncle Frank. You gotta get Frank his hamburger, first hamburger." They bring it to him, the first one off the grill. He's like a king over there.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Well,
stay on the good side.
Well, no. Now you got the beard to match it. All you need is a crown. We should have gotten you a crown, like we should have got you a Burger King crown. That's. Why didn't we think of this sooner?
Missed a golden opportunity.
Yeah, next year.
I'd rather have a nice hat.
You're very modest. You don't want the crown. You'd rather have a simple baseball cap.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So one more thing. I noticed that you got your Eagles shirt on. Are you expecting big things for the Eagles this year?
I don't know. I do want to see, the season happen, but with the coronavirus, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the future brings.
That's a fair point.
I think we have a good team. So, if we play, we have a good chance.
Okay, so there you go.
There you go. Ever the optimist.
Yeah.
Your dad has mostly been an optimist, I've noticed, whenever we do, like,
He
whenever
usually
ask
is,
him
yeah.
predictions and stuff. Yeah.
I like the beginning of the season because I like to theorize and, it's all full of hope and everything. But then when you see them play bad, then you get discouraged and then, start calling them bums and everything.
You're a week 1 through 4 and like 16 and 17 fan, but everything in between like weeks 4 and 7.
I get hopeful real easy and then discouraged real easy. So,
gee, I wonder where I get that from.
Like a true Philadelphian fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that there was a little bit during the course of last year where you weren't watching the games. Is that am I remembering something incorrectly? I think that was the case.
No, I watched them. Mike thinks I don't watch them, but I watch.
You barely watched them.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I actually don't remember. So I think I watched them.
It's okay. It was a forgettable season.
Yeah.
a forgettable season. We won the division.
No, yeah, what
Yeah.
we do.
But we didn't win the Super Bowl.
Carson
there you
Wentz
go.
won the division with a couple of guys from Wawa. All right, it was a glorious.
Okay, fair enough.
It was a glorious year as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got to get back to the garden at night.
No,
Napping
we're
on
watching
the
a
couch.
movie.
Oh,
We're
wow.
watching a very good movie.
What are you
called
watching?
Quiz. I think it's called Quiz.
Oh, that's
It's a
about the scandal. The quiz
Yeah.
scandal.
3 episode based on a true story about
About
the
millionaire.
who wants to be a millionaire.
Yeah, the guy who kept he had people in the audience that would cough
And we don't know that. We haven't watched the whole movie yet.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! That's exactly what happened.
Oh,
It's a well-known cheating scandal in the game show industry. So
Cool.
yeah, it's all legit. Well, Frank Costanzo, thank you for coming onto the Crispy Compact Communiqué. I know it's not the usual podcast that we do every year, but we still wanted to have you on for the episode before 4th of July. We wanted to maintain tradition. We wanted to get your garden update. It was very important that the people know what is happening in Frank Costanzo's garden. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
On the show.
All right. I have one question.
Oh, okay.
How do I turn this off? I mean, it's very nice. I can stay on here all night till you turn it off, but I kind of want to get back to my show. Which button do I push to turn this off?
Oh man. You can't top that. You can't script this stuff.
It's
dead.
true.
Okay.
I don't see the off button anywhere.
You actually killed Rich. Okay. So
This is why we have to have you on. This is why.
God.
Just moments like that. Just
Rosa!
such an honest question.
How do you turn this off? Just comment.
Oh my
plays out.
god. If you can't turn it off, we could do the whole podcast.
I mean, it's
straight
an
through.
important thing. How do you turn it off? All right, wait. I have to say. Let's say goodbye. Let's say goodbye.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
To
Mrs.
Radio
Costanzo,
Land.
hi.
Goodbye, everyone.
Oh my gosh! Thank you
Miss
guys.
See you next year.
Oh god, that was great. Oh
Bye.
my gosh.
All right,
Bye bye. Oh, I love your parents.
You just can't script stuff like that. Oh my god. I got one question. How do you turn this thing off?
That alone is going to be its own promo. I'm gonna have to cut that and put that in its own promo. Oh, all right. I'm gonna need to take a break because I started crying and my glasses are fogged up. Okay, we'll be right back real quick. All right, now we've composed ourselves after that wonderful interview with Frank Costanzo. Tradition. I love talking to him. You never know what you're gonna get.
Right. It's always a blast, and it's always something a little bit silly and a little bit off the rails, but it fits the theme perfectly.
Yeah. But now it's time to move on to the actual news at hand. And we do have quite a bit in the world of sports that we're going to get to. This is our take of the sports sampler, but I think it's going to end up being more of the sports brunch or something, because this is pretty substantial news that we have going here. Let's knock off the first NFL topic here real quick. It's not really a surprise considering that we've both been expecting sports to be delayed or canceled. But so when this story came out, it's kind of expected. The NFL has announced that they are going to shorten the preseason to only 2 preseason games in light of the coronavirus. It's expected, and to be honest with you, it's all right. Like it's like
one of those shoulder shrugs, like meh moments. the Players Association has been pushing for a shortened preseason for a long time now. So they're just pouncing on this opportunity to be like, yeah, sure, you take the preseason games. We don't care. I'm sure owners are upset. They're missing out on probably a home game to sell tickets. But there's larger concerns there. I don't think there's going to be any issue with, cutting back on the preseason games whatsoever.
Yeah. And I believe the games that are canceled are week 1 and 4, which is great because week 4 is always the notoriously lame one. That's the one they start like.
It's 1 and 4? I thought they were going to be the first 2 games.
No,
why would they
it's
take one from either end? That's weird.
yeah, because that way, first off, everyone gets one home and one away game, and also it delays the actual start of the game, and creates a little bit of buffer space in between the preseason and the season.
Because they're going to need to test and quarantine because they don't know how it's all going to work.
Correct.
See, well, I've long said sports is not happening this year, and all the signs point to it's definitely not happening if they have to take all these precautions, but we'll see.
Yeah. So there you go. Don't worry about it. It's the crappy football anyway. It's week 1 and week 4. It's not even even the good football.
Yeah, it's the preseason. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But on to a much larger NFL topic. So this one, this has always popped up every couple of years. It's always been a source of controversy. The Washington Redskins are once again facing pressure to change the team name, this time hitting them where it matters the most for the team owners, in the pocketbook. They're facing pressure from FedEx, the sponsor of the stadium, to change the name. I guess FedEx doesn't want their name attached to a racial slur. Who'd have thunk? Rich, what do you think?
It's not just them too. Nike has also asked them to change the name, and a couple of other sponsors have joined in too. So it isn't just one company. Although FedEx is a huge one, considering that's what the field is named after.
FedEx Field. Yeah.
So
I mean, look, this is a long time coming. They should change the name. I think they should have changed it years ago. And I think this is how you get it done. You got to put financial pressure on them. That's the way that big businesses listen, is if you put pressure on them. I don't see an issue with changing the name. I know Dan Snyder's like, oh, it's legacy, yada, 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 but it's wildly inappropriate and offensive when you really think about the name of the team.
It is. It's wildly It's wildly offensive, wildly just inappropriate. But I'm sorry, Dan Snyder is so stubborn. I don't see him doing the right thing here. I mean, maybe if FedEx actually pulls their sponsorship from the main from their home stadium, maybe that would be enough to rock the foundation. But Dan Snyder himself is such a stubborn man. I mean, he just, if you ever get a chance, just read any sort of account with former GMs that have had to work with him. He is such a stubborn man. He is not going to give up that easily. And he there's a story that I heard that he keeps a study that, I don't know, I guess one of the newspapers did, where they polled Native Americans, and they asked them, do you think Redskins, the word, is offensive? And I don't know, some study, and it came back like 60% said they don't find it offensive or something. And he carries it with him his wall. Like this, I'm telling you.
Time out.
Dan Snyder is stubborn as hell. Yeah. It's going to take more than this, I think.
You know you're wrong if you have to physically carry a study as evidence around with you everywhere.
By the way, where do you put that in your wallet?
I don't even know.
And do you actually take it out? Like, oh, excuse me, wait a minute, I'm going to show you. Bam! Right on the table.
He sounds like a grade A dick is what he sounds like, which is, I mean, we all know that he is. And you're right. You hit the nail on the head here. This is two different conversations. Should they change the name? Yes. Will they? If Dan Snyder has anything to say about it, probably not, because he is the person that he is. I think, though, that FedEx is in the position where they don't need that deal. Like, if you're going to ship a package, it's UPS or FedEx. What's their competition? Nobody. They don't need to advertise. You know what I mean? It's like they're synonymous with shipping almost.
Yeah, but watch out,
America.
Watch out! When we lose the postal service, it's going to all go to FedEx.
Yeah, so I mean, like they don't need to have their name on the stadium. What will hurt more in that relationship is if FedEx pulls out, then the stadium doesn't get the $250, $60 million that FedEx is paying for their name to be on the stadium. FedEx isn't going to be hurt, but the team and the stadium are. So FedEx, if they really want to create change, they would, stick to it and pull their name and pull that money. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I think it's going to take something that drastic. Like right now, we're at the stage where they're just kindly asking. That's not going to do it.
Right.
It's going to have to take FedEx actually leaving the table and being like, we're going to take our money and go elsewhere.
Yeah, they're kindly asking to get good PR, but if they want to create real change, they would pull the name.
Yeah.
And that would force then the team to either stick by stick by it, or to, go back with their tail between their legs and be like, yeah, we're going to change the team name. Can we please have our money back?
Yep.
That's the way it works, unfortunately.
Yeah. So there you go. We're in agreement on that as well. All right. And we got one more sports topic to hit you with.
Now, apparently this has got you all fired up, Rich, because so for people that know, baseball's been pissing Rich off in general.
Yeah.
The past couple of weeks, you've been all up in a fluster because baseball, will they, won't they? It's like a bad rom-com with Major League Baseball. But now we're getting news out of minor league baseball. Why does minor league baseball matter, Rich? What is going on with minor league baseball?
So minor league baseball has officially announced that they are going to cancel the 2020 season. There will be no minor league baseball happening.
Shocked Pikachu.
Right. I know. I know that I know under Mike's assumption, there's no chance of sports happening. So to him, it's not a surprise. But baseball seems like a sport that it should happen.
It could be done.
Right. It could be done.
It's the easiest one to do.
Right. But there's another side to this coin besides that whole argument, which we've had many weeks talking about the Major League Baseball resumption of the season. Minor league baseball is the mom and pop small business compared to the Major League Baseball big corporation, if we're trying to relate this to the economy.
Right.
And minor league baseball is already hurting going into 2020, and now they're going to go through a whole year where there's no revenue coming in. And it's troublesome because there's already, they're already on shaky ground, and now this is going to happen. I'm sad because, there's going to be talk. There's going to have to be talks about reducing the farm system, which is a real shame because I know Mike I know you like to rag on just, double A, triple A. Oh my God, there's so many effing things and, it's crazy. Yeah. But there's a reason why baseball is more akin to almost like a lifestyle change. You have to play baseball almost every day, not only just to stay in shape, but that's how you polish the young guys, the 18 to 19-year-olds. That's how you groom them to get to the higher AA, AAA, and eventually major leagues. Basically, I'm saying that this is like the equivalent of taking a sledgehammer to college football, which I know will never happen because college football is now its own moneymaker. But imagine something happened to college football where they just, all right, we're going to start reducing how important that is. Can you imagine how that would affect the NFL in terms of trying to get new talent and work that new talent into the system? And I'm afraid we're going to see if what I think is going to happen, and they start to shrink minor league baseball and start to get rid of, some of these teams or some of these leagues outright, you're going to start to see a degradation of talent as they are supposed to hit the major leagues.
So,
and it's a shame, I think.
So here's the point of confusion for me, because I don't follow baseball closely enough to understand the farm system. Are these teams part of an independent league, or are they a spinoff from Major League Baseball? Like how does the financing work? Because you say that they're going to shrink it, but if baseball has a vested interest in it, are they going to let that? Are they going to, cut back on it intentionally if it means it's going to lessen or weaken their product?
Okay, so you asked two different questions there. Yes, okay. Yes, there are independent baseball leagues.
Okay.
So remember when we had this? Remember we were talking about the Savannah Bananas and the Macon Bacon? Right. That's an independent league. The Coastal Plain League.
So, but do major league teams get talent from those leagues or just their own?
So, go ahead. So they can.
Okay.
They can, but a league like that is not directly affiliated with Major League Baseball.
Okay.
What I'm talking about for minor league baseball is the single A, double A, triple A. That's affiliated with teams. So the Phillies have the Reading Phillies and stuff like that. Right. In Wilmington, there's the Blue Rocks. They're affiliated with the Kansas City Royals. So that's how you develop players and eventually promote them to major league status.
Right. So I guess my question is then, will it go away if baseball has a vested interest in keeping it going? Won't they just keep it going?
They'll keep it going, but I think the problem is it's going to have to shrink. The minor league baseball is going to take such a huge loss. They were already taking such huge losses going into 2020, and now they're going to go a full year without any revenue. That's really going to hurt, especially the minor league teams. Like that, their revenue is based entirely on attendance and families that come in.
They don't have TV deals and sponsorships and
Right. So and me personally, this is a personal spot for me. I love going to minor league baseball games. A Blue Rocks game. I went to some of my best baseball memories have been going to the Wilmington Blue Rocks and watching a couple of their games. It's hilarious. But the Reading Phillies, they're also fun too. It's affordable too. It's awesome to go see the Phillies. They're our hometown team, but it can get pricey. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, the last time I went to a Wilmington Blue Rocks game, I don't think maybe I spent $40 or $50 total, and that got me seats right up close.
That's a cheesesteak and a beer.
Yeah, I bought a hat. I have a Blue Rocks hat. I do. Jeez. I have it somewhere.
Big
in my
spender
room.
Over there.
Yeah,
but you're right. Even $40 at a Phillies game, that's it doesn't go far.
Right. So it hurts my heart that I think if this trend continues, I think we're going to see at the very minimum some sort of shrinkage with minor league baseball because they're just treading water. And now this announcement's coming out, and of course, Major League Baseball is going to do nothing to directly help them. So it's it's just a shame, and it is a shame. And to me, it's like that analogy. It's like a mom and pop business going out of business and then you see like a corporate chain doing fine, and you're like, come on, you bastards.
I mean, the analogy
help them out, you cheap bastards.
Well, I was gonna say the analogy kind of works, but the big chain also kind of owns the mom and pop shop in that analogy. So the big chain could help. It just they won't. Because Major League Baseball is being real dumb right now.
Right.
So you're right, though. It is sad to think that some of those smaller teams are going to get cut back or eliminated or, what have you.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing, too, is I was reading one report that said, we're talking about, close to like a third of these teams that Yeah. I mean, that's literally wiping out an entire, one of these A leagues, just wiping them off.
But maybe they don't need that much. Maybe it is the way it is now, but maybe there's bloat. Maybe they can cut back. Maybe then the other teams will be more profitable and they can be self-sustaining. Maybe they'll find equilibrium. There's a lot of what ifs. I don't know. Right. Very complicated time in 2020.
Yeah. Just the motto of this year is just like, I don't know. Just
that's 2020. That's exactly what it is. You just toss your hands up. I don't know.
2020, the year of I don't know. Yeah. Speaking of I don't know, I think it's a good transition into our entertainment topic because as we're talking about businesses, Mike told me this story and I'm already hurting in the pocketbook. So Mike, tell him what the development is.
So yeah, this news affects us both a great deal because we're both big video gamers. There's reports coming out that some big publishers are considering raising prices on games from $60 to $70. 2K announced this week that NBA 2K21 will officially be priced at $70 for the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 versions of the game. So the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions will be $60, like we're used to. The next gen versions will be $70. So this actually marks the first price increase in video games since 2005, when games went from $50 to $60. Now, there's arguments on both sides, but Rich, I want to get your opinion here. Is this good news, bad news, or is this just the way that things need to be, given the increase in development costs?
Well, I'm going to say it's bad news. I mean, I'm sure you can list the whole reasons of justifications why it should jump up to $70. And I'm sure part of it is going to be the video game developers need more money and they need more money to pay their staffs and everything. And to a degree, I can sympathize with that. But now, I mean, think about it in terms of like a family. You're talking about $70 for one game. I mean, that's a night out. You can buy or in the coronavirus, excuse me, not night out. Order a takeout for dinner. For a family of four. Are you really gonna be willing to sacrifice that for one video game? And it may not even be a great video game. That's something that I think gets lost in the shuffle. Is sure you're trying to target the games you want to buy and the games you're probably going to enjoy. But sometimes you buy a game and sometimes you play it. Yeah. And you play it and you're like, oh, this isn't really that good of a game. And now instead of it being $50, $60, you're telling me it's going to be $70. That's going to be that's going to be a rough pill to swallow. Actually, to be honest, here's what I'm going to do. I'm probably now in the PlayStation 5 era. I'm probably just going to wait till the prices fall down. To me, I'm one of those people. I don't have to be one of those guys that got to get it right away.
You're not me.
Very, very rarely am I like that. It would have to be like a BioShock. It would have to be something that has earned my trust.
Right.
So for the most part, I'm not one of these crazy guys that's like, I got to get it day one. So I'm going to just wait till they drop down in price and go on sale, whether it be 6 months, a year, 18 months. I can wait. Literally, time is money.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, so the arguments that I've seen for the price increases, like I said, this is the first one in, 15 years? And development costs have skyrocketed. The Grand Theft Auto 5s and the Last of Us 2s don't get made cheaply. The counter to that, I would say, is that's fine if you're going to increase prices to justify big marquee titles like that really make a good use of the budget. But what I see in games like NBA 2K21 is they're going to increase the price and still hit us with microtransactions and DLC and loot boxes and all of these tactics. And now, of course, the argument there is, well, they use those tactics to make up the development costs. Part of me sees that, but part of me sees that like the floodgates have opened and they know that they can just print money now. That's why Rockstar keeps on putting out Grand Theft Auto 5, because they know they make more money in selling the virtual money than they do in selling the actual game. So my whole thing is you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want to hit us with microtransactions, then the games have to be priced more reasonably. If you want to up the cost, then I want to go back to like the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 era where you buy a game and it's a whole game and it's a complete game. You don't feel like you have to buy extra content to get the whole experience. They're trying to get the best of both worlds. And, people have to speak with their wallets. Yeah. If the price bothers you, then do like Rich, do like me, wait for a sale, buy used games. If, however, it's a developer that you respect, that always puts out good content, like a Naughty Dog, not like Rockstar anymore, because they're clearly just milking the cash cow, go ahead and spend the money to show your support of those artists. But you have to be an informed consumer. You have to, you can't just... And you're right. The sad part is it is going to be a hindrance to a young and upcoming generation of gamers in that it's just a little bit out of their price range. I remember when games went from 50 to 60 when we were in high school at the time. And it was like, man, games are really expensive now. I was upset that $10, it's tough to come by when you're a teen, and you're trying to afford this very expensive hobby. Now, both of us, luckily, are in the position where we have full-time jobs, but it's still expensive. And for families that are trying to buy multiple copies of games, or they can only buy their kid 1 or 2 games a year, that's a big expense. Because, when I was a kid, I got 1 or 2 games a year. It's whatever Sonic the Hedgehog game I wanted, and then some other random trash that my parents found at, whatever big box store was big at the time. It was EB Games or something back in the day. Remember EB Games?
Yeah, EB Games.
But that's the reality for a lot of families is they have a limited budget, and $70 is a lot to ask for a game, especially since a lot of games are targeted towards kids.
That's $70. That's not right. That's not like a splurge purchase now. You got to think about that. $70. That could be a dinner. That's a lot of things you could use. That's gas money. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see where it goes. I want to see how it develops, because there were a lot of tactics developed over the past 5-6 years to make up the extra development costs. We saw a rise in pushing people to pre-order, right? We saw a rise in special editions, limited editions. That were most games are $70 now. But it's like the steelbook case and you get free themes and, all the pre-order bonuses. Like they disguise it in other ways. It takes them no effort to make a theme and to take the soundtrack and put it in a digital file, charge an extra $10. So we're already secretly there. But now I want to see if they keep including those things or they just strip those things out and put them in an even more expensive version.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen.
Well, Mike, all you got to do is look forward to the all-new Super Duper Magna Carta edition coming out for every single game coming out soon.
There you go.
Rockstar,
they're already there.
Rockstar, I expect that to be used in Grand Theft Auto 5 or whatever you choose to put out on the PlayStation 5. I want to see that Super Duper Magna Carta edition.
Grand Theft Auto 5 version 4. Super Duper Magna Carta edition.
Exactly. That's what it's gonna sound like.
But yeah, this one definitely hit us hard. This price increase for one of our favorite hobbies, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. If maybe there's big enough backlash, maybe some of the smaller developers won't. It also leaves the possibility you could see the rise in AA titles. The middle space between indie and the big developers. Maybe a few more like $40 to $50 games sneak into that middle range. But
it sounds like a farm system.
No, it doesn't sound like a farm system.
Just saying, A, AA, AAA, huh?
It's used in different contexts, but okay.
Yeah, sounds like the same thing. It does. Okay, so now that we covered sports and entertainment, it's time to get to our third topic. It's probably our most favorite topic, though.
Oh, yeah.
because every week without fail, there was always odd news to cover. So I've got your odd news nugget here for the week. And we're going to Arkansas in this one.
Oh, Arkansas, otherwise known as Arkansas.
Yeah, good old Arkansas.
Or Arkansas.
Arkansas. Welcome to Arkansas.
I don't know what accent that is, Rich.
That's my Arkansas. That's when I have too much sarsaparilla.
Oh my gosh. We just lost all our... I can't even say it right now. Arkansas listeners.
Yeah, the one.
Yeah,
the one Arkansas listener. Sorry. But here you go. This is a story from your home state, one Arkansas listener. Here you go. An Arkansas man shot out the front window of a Little Rock pizzeria after arguing with an employee about the toppings on his pizza pie, according to police.
Okay, so he shot out the window.
Yeah.
Because of the toppings.
Yes.
Okay.
44-year-old Michael Brown was arrested on multiple felony charges following the confrontation Monday afternoon at the restaurant called Pie 5.
High five. I like
the name.
Pie five.
Give me a Pie 5. That gets messy. Pie 5.
It gets so is this like a high five with a pizza slice?
I think. I don't know. That's what I'm going to go with. Pie 5.
High five. Okay.
Yeah.
And this also happened in the middle of the day.
Yeah, Monday afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, don't you mess with this guy's pizza.
I want to know. I mean, pizza, it's a very special food. We hold it near and dear to our hearts. You don't mess with another person's pizza. Mm-hmm. So what exactly went wrong that warranted shooting up the pizza joint in the middle of the day? Or not shooting up the joint, but shooting out the windows.
Well, according to the Little Rock Police Department report, Brown and a female acquaintance saw the pizza that they ordered and became very upset over the amount of pizza toppings on his pizza.
Wait, but you decide the toppings.
Yes, but I think he thought he was going to get more of the accoutrement of it, and he was saddened to see that it was not up to snuff.
Oh my God! Okay, so he just wanted more.
Yes.
Well, then ask for more. There's always options for like extra toppings everywhere you go.
Well, at that point, Brown got incredibly upset. He asked to speak with a manager. That's when he then threw a cell phone at the manager named Mrs. Smith.
Why?
He's very upset. Don't mess with this guy's pizza.
This is what annoys me, is that you can solve so many problems of being like, hey, could I get some extra toppings? And they'll be like, sure, that's like $1.75 extra. And you're like, okay, here's $2.
No.
Keep the change.
How dare you? I shouldn't have to pay for more. I asked specifically for 39 slices of pepperoni. I need you to count that out individually.
And he stands there and watches them count.
Yes. I will not be taken advantage of.
That would be hilarious.
And don't you lose count.
If you put in like, you know how like online ordering, you can always add the notes to be like, I want exactly 39 slices of pepperoni.
Yes. Don't you skip on me.
Okay.
39 immediately.
So, and if he doesn't get his 39 slices of pepperoni, he throws the cell phone at the manager.
Yeah. So first,
does he even say anything, or does the manager walk up and just automatically phone to the face?
Well, I'm going to assume he said something. He said something. He got the manager, so I'm going to assume he talked to the manager.
Okay.
So then he threw his cell phone at the manager, Mrs. Smith, striking her in her face. Wow.
How?
Fastball right down the middle.
And cell phones hurt. They're like, thick, solid pieces of glass and metal.
Yeah. That's when two employees asked Brown to leave. That's when Brown retreated to his work van, then walked back holding a gun. Wow.
That's definitely going to get your toppings.
Yeah. Bam. Right away.
It is such a minor inconvenience. It's not even like they made it wrong. They just didn't put enough, or what he considers enough toppings. Like they put the standard amount of toppings, and he's like, no, I just want more.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
So Wow. One of the workers saw that he was going to grab a gun and locked all the doors. Wow. Whoever that worker is, pay him extra money.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee he's not getting paid enough. He just saved everybody.
Yeah. Whoever that worker is. Why is he not named? This is somebody that should be honored in this story.
Right. They name the criminals, but they don't name the person that saved people.
They named the manager. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, no offense, other than the fact that you got a phone thrown in your face. I don't really care what your name is.
You got hit in the face with a phone. What did you do? Nothing. You didn't even put the right number of pepperoni on the pizza.
Yeah, right. You didn't put enough pepperoni on the damn pizza. But this worker, this brave worker, saw him reach for the gun and instantly locked all the doors. So whoever that worker is, you get the tip of the hat. Very, very good.
They probably gave him a free pizza and a pat on the back. No, honestly, I have little to no faith in places. So, that's what I assume they did. They're like, oh, thanks, you saved everybody. Here's a free slice. You know?
You're our hero. Here's half of a slice. Right. Here's 3 mozzarella sticks. Congratulations.
What they do, like take it off of somebody's order that like left them on the tray?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't take a 4th one. We need that for the next
Yeah.
So Brown realized that he was not going to be able to get back into the restaurant. That's when he shot out the glass to the front of the restaurant. So there you go. That's why he shot the glass. He then drove away from the restaurant in the white work van that had the name of the drain cleaning business that he works at.
Of course it did.
Wow. Just sure. Yeah, you're going to get away with this, buddy. Yeah. I'm going to drive away in the work van with logos on it. Perfect.
Like literally a sign.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I'm assuming they got him. I hope they did.
Yes. So police followed up and were able to arrest him at work. He was charged with 6 felony counts, including act of a terrorist.
Wow.
Ooh. That doesn't sound like one you can walk away from.
No. Also, that's okay. I mean, like, yeah, what he did was bad, but that seems a bit excessive, don't you think?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he deserves it.
Yeah.
He tried to shoot up a place because of toppings on a pizza.
Yeah. But it's also Arkansas. I don't think they have much forgiveness.
No, they don't seem like a state that would be lenient.
Yeah. And there you go. That's your odd news nugget for the week. Make sure if somebody asks for toppings, make sure you put some good amount of toppings on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. 39 pieces of pepperoni.
Exactly. 39. Put it on there.
Not one more or less. Yeah, I'm gonna count.
I'm gonna count every single one. There's not 39 on here. My rifle's coming out.
If you want to go next level, you say 39, but then you specify how many slices on each slice of pizza. I want 7 on this one, and 8 on that one, and 5 on this one.
Yes. And I'm going to count. That's not up to my specifications. I'm going to drive my van through this freaking restaurant.
Jeez, taking it up a notch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're already going to use the work van, you might as well just plow it through the restaurant.
If you're going to use it, use it.
Right, exactly. So there you go. That's what I have for you in this week's Odd News Nugget. But before we officially start wrapping this week's episode up, Mike, what are you going to do for apocalypse activities this weekend?
Well, this weekend is the 4th of July. It's also my birthday, which is fun.
Yeah, that's right. Happy birthday, Mikey.
Thank you. And just in time for my birthday, Lin-Manuel Miranda decided to release Hamilton on Disney Plus. He knew that I was having a birthday, and he's like, this is his favorite musical. I better put it out on Disney Plus. Just for me, of course, definitely not to make money or drive subscriptions to Disney Plus. But I'm very excited. If you have access to Disney Plus, I highly recommend people go and check this out. There's going to be a very special presentation. It's not just, it's not like a movie of the musical. It's literally, I read about it. They filmed the original Broadway cast during a live performance, during a performance with no audience, and then they shot it again, specifically close-ups of the performers. So they shot basically 3 full run-throughs of the musical and then put it all together in a cinematic package, where they have shots from the audience, shots up close, shots where the camera's moving around the stage. So you get the original Broadway cast, Hamilton, and you get the best seat in the house for every single shot. So I'm really, really excited. I saw it in person, but I'm really excited to see the original Broadway cast and hear their take on everything and see it, how it's supposed to be in Lin-Manuel Miranda's vision of everything. I guess I should have said what Hamilton's about. It's about Alexander Hamilton, one of the founding fathers. He's on your $10 bill, first Secretary of the Treasury. Spoiler alert, he gets into a duel with Aaron Burr. It does not go well. And the show's sort of bookended by that thing, and it's basically just his life and the lengths he went to chase, what he decided he wanted to leave behind as his legacy. And the theme is that you don't really get to choose who tells your story or how they tell your story. So it's very, very cool. Won a whole bunch of Tonys. It's fantastic. The music is fun. It has so many different genres in it. It's exciting. It's sad. It's funny. It's got everything you possibly want. Go check it out. Hamilton on Disney Plus, streaming tomorrow, Friday, July 3rd, or today, if you're watching the podcast today, I should say.
Yeah, that's right. Comes out today. Yeah.
Comes out today. Yeah.
There you go. So my apocalypse activity, I actually caught up on a recommendation that you gave me. I watched Fighting with My Family.
Okay. The wrestling movie.
Yeah, the WWE wrestling story of Paige. I was surprised. It was really good.
Wasn't it?
I was worried that they were going to be a little too cheesy with it. And to a degree, there are some parts that are, but actually they do a good job representing how strenuous it is for these wrestlers to make it big. And even when you do make it big, it's not an easy life. And they did a good job of showing that. I was really surprised at Vince Vaughn. He did a really good job being the WWE trainer, talent scout guy.
Yeah.
And The Rock. I was also really pleased with The Rock's performance. He had some great lines in it. I forget what it is exactly, but he has a great line where he says something like, "Don't try to be the next Hogan or the next Randy Savage. Be the first of you." And I like that. That was a really good, one of those, good overall life philosophies you can integrate with, your own beliefs. So yeah, I was really surprised. It was a really good movie. I think it represented wrestling fairly well. So if you have access to it, I'd say go check it out. And if you want, that's more like the lighter side, the more inspirational side. On the other hand, if you want the darker side, go watch one of my favorite shows, Dark Side of the Ring. All of the episodes are available.
I was going to say, you've been on a major wrestling kick. I mean, you're always been a wrestling fan, but you're talking about all this wrestling stuff. I don't know. Has coronavirus made you dive back into or deeper into wrestling? Have you been pulling out the old games and?
Well, I mean, it's just been a good time for it, especially since Dark Side of the Ring has, they came out with their second season during the coronavirus, so that really helped. And it's just really, it's funny. It makes you go back to all these things that happened, and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember watching it as an audience member, but you never knew the actual stories, backstage and in the locker room and what was true and what wasn't and what actually did happen. It's shocking how much, stuff actually was legit. So yeah, if you, those are two wrestling things I would recommend. If again, the lighter side would be that movie Fighting with My Family, but the darker side is Dark Side of the Ring, and I love that. That the second season was all throughout the coronavirus, so that helped feed my my wrestling itch.
Oh, if you want to continue to feed it and to follow up on more apocalypse activities, if you want more light side of wrestling, Glow on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
The all-female wrestling league from, I think, the 80s, starring Allison Brie from Community. Very funny, but also, great little character stories. It's an ensemble cast, and there's lots of different characters who have different life struggles that the show follows. And it's fun because you get to see, a highly fictionalized version of, I guess, how this thing came to be. And it's a very, very good show. It's one of my parents' favorite shows on Netflix, actually.
All right, so there you go.
So go check that out.
Wrestling, do some wrestling stuff. Yeah, when you're down in Arkansas, get some wrestling in there.
Wrestling.
Yep. So there you go. That's apocalypse activities. All right, and with all of that said, it is time to start wrapping up this episode of the Crispy Compact Communiqué. Thank you guys for watching or listening. However you're consuming this entity, thank you for supporting us. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you like us on Facebook. Well, I mean, if you're watching the video on Facebook Live, obviously you know that. But I don't know, in case you don't, here you go. Like us, hit the like button on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at The Crispy Noodle and on Instagram at The Crispy Noodle Podcast.
That's right. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can find videos, best bits, interviews, and a whole lot more. But most importantly, remember to subscribe to the Crispy Noodle Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You get the latest episodes downloaded for free every week. If you're not watching this, the video version, you get the audio version on the podcast feed. So make sure you're up to date there. You can also reach us individually on Twitter if you want to send us any sports, entertainment, or odd news stories that we can talk about. You can find us there individually. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on Twitters. Let us know what's happening. Tweet at us if you want us to look at something or talk about something on the next episode of the Crispy Compact Communiqué. And we'll give all considerations, the thoughtful process, and if we do talk about it, we'll give you a shout out. So let us know what you want us to talk about on the next episode of the Crispy Compact Communiqué. But for right now, I think that's gonna do it. Anything else, Mike?
No, I'm good. Everybody have a happy 4th of July. Stay safe. Get yourself some hot dogs and hamburgers. Yep. Hot right off the grill.
Off the grill.
That's it.
Yep. And happy birthday to Mike. That's right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. The Mike Costanzo, the best thing since the 4th of July. There he is.
That's right. Damn straight.
Yep. So make sure, we'll probably, I'll probably, we'll get another announcement out in case you forget. We'll make sure everyone wishes Mike happy birthday during this Independence Day weekend. But for right now, we gotta wrap this episode up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That's going to do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye.